God save you.
Is there any work for me here?
Master Huntsman, is there any work for me here?
There's always something that needs doing. You're that Scarlet's lad, aren't you? Sir Radzig's lackey.
That'll be me.
That'll be me.
Right. I saw you here shortly after the attack. My word, to get away from Talmberg like that, quite remarkable. It's clear you're not easily scared. So I do have a job for you.
I'm listening.
We've been having terrible problems with poachers lately. In Sir Divish's forests, we've been finding gutted entrails of deer and rabbit nooses all over the place, but no sign of the bastards who put them there.
And you want me to track down the poachers?
Indeed. Whatever you learn will be useful to me.
Any suspects?
Do you suspect anyone?
Well, it's hard to say, but seeing how much harm they're causing, I'd say they're no crofters looking for a Sunday roast.
Is that not what you're here for?
Shouldn't you be dealing with the poachers yourself?
I should, you're quite right. But when I ask the local folk anything, their mouths close up like clams. They're more scared of me than the devil.
Do you think the locals are in on it?
Well, I don't know, maybe. But even if not, they'll never talk to me. They're scared I'll dig some skeleton out of their cupboard. You know, the smaller the village, the bigger the secrets. That's why I need an outsider to ask for me.
I understand.
I'll try to find out what I can.
I'll try to find out something about them. Any advice about where to start?
Certainly. Ask around the village. Somebody must have seen or heard something. And it wouldn't hurt to ask in the inn in the glade, the one on the road towards Neuhof. I've heard they serve good venison, and no shortage of it.
That's clear enough. As soon as I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Thanks for your help, lad.
See if I have any training.
I'd like you to show me some hunting tricks.
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you. Now, pay close attention. Good luck, then.
I'd like you to show me some hunting tricks.
Certainly.
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
Wouldn't you rather learn the basics
Okay, can't
first?
do that yet. Maybe another time.
Well, I'll think it over.
Let's
Can
see.
you teach me to be a better archer?
Certainly.
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
Wouldn't you rather learn the
God damn it.
basics first?
Well, I'll think it over.
Goodbye.
God be with you.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
Don't ask me. Talk to the blacksmith's Betty. She's the one who claims she saw them feasting in the woods.
I see. Thanks. I'll go and ask.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Blacksmith's Betty.
God be with you.
Have you seen a worn-out old whore who usually stands outside here?
She disappeared yesterday and hasn't been back since. I heard her former husband was found dead at home with his balls chopped off and his wife strangled and her eyes scratched out and the house ransacked and robbed.
Oh, fuck!
They say it looks like a butcher's yard there. No one can say for sure if the old bitch had anything to do with it, but I'll wager the shirt on my back you won't be seeing her around here again.
Listen, innkeeper, I hear you have some game here from time to time.
Aye, we have dice games happening most nights.
You make a stuffed bird laugh. You know full well what I mean.
No, I've no idea what you're talking about.
I'm not looking for trouble, just a job.
I'm not here to make any trouble for you. Just looking for some job I can, aim for. Another string to my bow, so to speak.
I think I'm catching your drift.
Splendid.
But before I tell you anything, I'll have to put you to the test. You know, I can't send every Tom, Dick and Harry to my friends.
Fair enough. What do you want me to do?
At the stud farm near here, there's a stable hand by the name of Jakub. Bastard got lucky at dice and won my favourite tankard off me.
And what's that got to do with me?
If you'd stop interrupting, you might find out. Anyway, he's so full of himself, he doesn't want to give it back, not even for money. But he's very fond of archery, and I don't need to add he likes to make bets.
I'm with you. If I can win your tankard back and bring it to you, you'll know that
You're not completely useless. That's right. So, get going. I'm thirsty, and I'll always taste it better out of my trusty old tankard.
May the Lord watch over you.
Good morning.
I'd like to ask about the poachers.
I've got a few questions about these poachers.
So ask.
I've heard you saw something odd in the forest.
I heard you saw something fishy in the forest.
That's right, I did.
Can you describe what you saw?
It was after dark, I remember that. I went up past the castle along by the clearing, and I saw someone had lit a fire, and there were figures singing and dancing, and I could hear the whistling of a pipe. And I could smell roast meat. It was like a feast of some sort. Only I thought maybe it was some witch's Sabbath, so I was afraid to stay too long in case they saw me.
Did you recognize anyone?
Did you recognize anyone there? Someone from the village, maybe?
No. Like I said, it was dark. All I could see was shadowy figures moving around.
Did you hear any familiar voices?
No. But I heard girls' laughter, goblets clinking, a piper playing. It sounded just like any feast.
Where's the clearing?
Where is the clearing?
A short walk north of the castle. There's a track past the woodcutter's camp that takes you there.
Thanks. What do you make of this poaching that's been going on?
It's clear as day. Hannikin Hare's back. And putting those antlers on Nicholas's house? Well, we all know what that means, don't we? It's the sign of a cuckold, you mark my words.
You mean the horns of a cuckold?
You mean to say his wife's cheating on him?
All I'm saying is she might be feeling the urge. It happens in the best of families.
Who is the Hannikin Hare?
Who's this Hannikin Hare, anyway?
Hannikin Hare? There was a time he was master huntsman here, and Margaret was set to be his wife. But then he got himself accused of murder and fled before they could hang him. Margaret and his job both ended up going to Nicholas.
What happened between Hare and Margaret?
So what's the story between Hare and Margaret?
It was complicated. He wanted her and she wanted him too, I reckon. At least for a while. But then she hitched up with Nicholas and now she says she never had a thought of wedding Hannikin Hare.
What's the story between Hare and Nicholas?
So what went on between Hare and the huntsman?
Those two? There was no love lost between them from the moment Hare arrived. And then Margaret got involved. It was a messy business.
Hannikin Hare's crime.
Do you think Hare really killed that man?
Who knows the truth of it now? I did find it all a bit odd. Hare never was much of a hothead. But then again, no one really knew him that well. And Margaret never wanted to speak of it. Wouldn't hear a word about it.
That will be everything.
That's all I need. Thanks.
Holy shit, what is this? no, I'm stuck. A task around.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
I hear there are poachers around.
I heard there are poachers in the woods round here.
If it was just poachers. It's that sorcerer Hare. He's the one who's been running amok. I said he'd be back, and I said he'd be vengeful, and I was right both times.
Tell me about Hare.
Tell me something about Hare.
Ah, that was all years ago. He turned up here one day. No one rightly knew where from. He claimed up at the castle to be a nobleman's son, and so he got the office of Master Huntsman, and Margaret was promised him for his wife. Nobody could have known he was a sorcerer.
How did they find out about his sorcery?
And how did his sorcery reveal itself?
Well, he was able to vanish into thin air in the forest right in front of folk. And I've heard it said he spoke to animals, too, though I don't know the truth of it.
Well, doesn't sound very convincing to me.
That's because you've not seen his marksmanship. It was natural, the things he could do with that bow of his. They say he sold his soul for the gift of it.
I see.
How did it go with the Margaret?
How did it go with Margaret?
I'm not one to gossip, but she was a flighty lass in her younger years. She could never make up her mind which one she wanted, the Hare or Nicholas. So in the end, fate decided for her.
What do you mean? What happened with Hare?
Oh, that was quite something. And then some on top of it. Sir Henry of Lipo was visiting here at the castle, and Hare snapped his guardsman's neck with his bare hands. Of course, they found him out. But how do you keep a sorcerer under lock and key? You can't. That's your answer. And that Satan's spawn slipped the net.
Oh well, it's quite a wild story.
So what happened with Hare then?
Any idea why he murdered the man?
No one knows, and most likely never will. But they say he was fully in the devil's power. There was a full moon, you see.
Did anyone see him do it?
Was he actually seen killing the guardsman?
I suppose so. Else they'd hardly know who did it, would they?
That's probably true.
I'll ask something else.
There is one other thing I want to ask.
Tell me about Hare.
Tell me something about Hare.
Ah, that was all years ago. He turned up here one day. No one rightly knew where from. He claimed up at the castle to be a nobleman's son, and so he got the office of Master Huntsman, and Margaret was promised him for his wife. Nobody could have known he was a sorcerer.
There is one other thing I want to ask.
Isn't that just a folktale?
Has anyone actually seen this Hare? He seems to exist only as a bogeyman to frighten naughty children.
Oh, he exists all right, but he flits around in the forest like a shadow. They won't be catching him any time soon, but Blacksmith's Betty heard some of their goings-on in the woods.
Goings-on? What's that supposed to mean?
Cavorting and raising hell. Sorcery! Hare meets up with his sorcerer's apprentices, and they feast in the clearing in the woods. In the morning, they turn into ravens and scatter. Or so she says. But you'll have to ask Betty for more. Who knows what she saw? Or what she was doing there with them.
Very well. I'll ask. Who does Hare want revenge on?
Master Huntsman Nicholas, of course. When the Hare disappeared, Nicholas took his Margaret and the huntsman's posting.
So Nicholas came out of it well?
That one always knew how to land on his feet.
Thanks. I think I know all I need.
God be with you.
That didn't help.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
I'm sorry, but I don't have time. You could ask Martha, the innkeeper's wife. They say she heard something about it.
Okay, thank you.
God be with you. God's blessings.
About the poachers.
I heard you got a poaching problem in the woods around here.
In the woods and out of them. Not long back, the bastards hung a deer's head on the huntsman's house.
That's pretty brazen of them.
Certainly is. Word around the village is that someone wants to shame him till he squirms.
Sounds risky to me.
Putting a deer's head on the huntsman's house sounds pretty risky. Why would anyone do that?
Maybe they want to show that Huntsman Nicholas is no match for them. And they're not wrong. He isn't the man he should be.
Could someone local have done it?
Do you think it was someone local?
I really don't know. All sorts of things get said. Hannikin Hare's back, if you listen to some, and others are going on about Tom of the Baths. They swear blind he's got his fingers in it.
And what about you?
It could be anyone. There's more than one that has it in for Nicholas. And who knows what the neighbors get up to by night.
What's so suspicious about this Thomas?
Just that he was drunk and blabbering about how he was going to bring back venison from the woods.
What can you tell me about Hare?
Tell me something about Hannikin Hare.
He used to be Master Huntsman here a while back. But then Nicholas got him accused of a murder, and the Hare had to flee. It cost him the huntsman's rank and Margaret, too.
Nicholas and the Hare.
What happened between Hare and Nicholas, anyway?
Those two didn't get on from the start. And then that business with Margaret really set them at each other's throats. But it all came to a head about 15 years back when Sir Henry of Lipa came to visit.
Sir Hanish's father?
Just so. There was a banquet at the castle in his honor, and in the morning they found one of Sir Henry's men-at-arms in the ditch with his neck broken. Well, Nicholas made sure that blame fell on Hannikin Hare.
So how did Nicholas put the blame on Hare?
Nicholas always had a viper's tongue, and events made it easy for him. That evening there'd been a right falling out between Hare and the guardsman. Blows were struck. Well, Sir Divish didn't want any ill will with Sir Henry, so he tried to settle things as quick as he could, and Hare got the short straw.
What was going on with Margaret?
Her father promised her to Hannikin, because they seemed a good match. But Nicholas couldn't stomach that, so he did what he did.
I want to ask about something else. So why do people think Tom of the Baths is involved?
Ah, that's just nonsense. He was bragging in the tavern that he'd put on a venison feast for the village girls. Deer for the deers.
Did he?
I doubt it. He's all mouth and no trousers. But if you want to know more, ask my husband, the innkeeper. I wasn't here that evening.
Tell me something about Hannikin Hare.
He used to be Master Huntsman here a while back. But then Nicholas got him accused of a murder, and the Hare had to flee.
I want to ask about something else. That'll be all. Thanks.
God be with you.
Okay.
God almighty. Has something happened to you? Did someone steal your fancy clothes?
Poacher trouble.
I'm here to find out about the poachers gang, and I need to ask a few questions.
Well, ask away. I don't have all day.
I heard you were yelling in the tavern that you were off to hunt some venison.
Look here. I don't know who you are, but you should watch your mouth.
I will, don't you worry. So what happened then?
What? Nothing. It was just the beer talking. I got pissed and started spouting shit. Didn't mean a word of it.
Maybe not. That remains to be seen. Blacksmith Betty saw people feasting in the woods, And she says there was a nice smell of venison. What do you know about it?
Nothing. I wasn't there.
And I don't suppose you'll tell me who was?
No, because I wasn't there.
Okay, that'll do.
That'll do me. I hear there's been trouble with poachers recently.
I don't have time to talk to strangers. Good day to you.
Okay.
God be with you. Do you need anything?
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
If you ask me, there's some questions best left unanswered. But go and see Elena if you're determined. That old gossip will tell you all there is to know.
I'd like to ask you about Hare.
I'm sorry, but I really don't want to talk about that.
Everything leads back to you.
The thing is, every time I spoke to someone about Hare, they always ended up talking about you.
But I don't.
You aren't to blame for anything, is that it? Well, I am willing to believe you, but you do know more than you're telling, and I need to hear it.
Very well. You're right. And what would you like to know about Hare?
What went on between you and Hare?
How were things between you and Hare back then?
There was nothing between us. Hare impressed my father with all his talk of noble blood, but I couldn't stand him, and I didn't want to marry him. And then it made no odds after he ran away.
So you didn't want him? I only asked because I've heard differently.
That's village talk. Of course folk gossip. Mostly they just want to hurt Nicholas.
Is Hare guilty?
Did Hare really commit the murder?
God in heaven, how should I know? Anyway, it doesn't matter now.
That remains to be seen.
That didn't went nowhere.
That'll be everything. I'd like to ask you about Hare.
I'm sorry, but I really don't want to talk about that.
That'll do me.
May the Lord watch over you.
What? What do I need to talk to about this?
God be with you. Do you need anything?
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
If I were you, I'd ask Thomas, the bath hand. He was boasting in the tavern about how he was off to the woods for some game. Good luck, then.
That's a villager. Marda.
I want to ask one more thing about those poachers.
I'm listening.
I'd like a beer.
Tell me something about Hare.
He used to be master huntsman here a while back. But then Nicholas got him accused of a murder, and the Hare had to flee. It cost him the huntsman's rank and Margaret, too.
What happened between Hare and Nicholas, anyway?
Those two didn't get on from the start. But it all came to a head.
Sir Hanish's father?
Just so.
And what happened to Hare?
That's just it. No one rightly knows. They put him in the dungeon, but when Sir Henry's men came for him the next morning, he was gone.
My pleasure.
No one knows what became of him.
Okay.
I want to ask about something else. That'll be all. Thanks.
God be with you.
Oh, there he is.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
What do you think about all the poaching lately?
What should I be thinking? If they ever catch them, Sir Divish will have them skinned alive. But for that to happen, our master huntsman would have to be made of sterner stuff.
Folk are talking about Hare.
Oh, good lord. People do like to prattle on. don't you go believing a word they say. It's the back of beyond here, and they'll tell any tale to spice things up a bit.
Do you think Nicholas isn't doing enough?
A master huntsman who lets poachers run wild through his woods? He's useless. He couldn't even stop them hanging a stag's head on his own house.
Right. Thank you, innkeeper. I'll be going. I've heard Tom of the Baths was mouthing off in here.
So he did. He and Jack Piper were bragging about how they'd make a feast for the village lasses, that there'd be venison roast and enough beer to fill a river. And a few days later, they did come and buy a few kegs of beer from me.
Did they have anything else to say?
Not really. I told him to shut up, or someone would hear him and there'd be trouble.
And what did he say to that?
Nothing. He had more booze in him than the castle cellar. He just hiccuped and slid under the table. Piper took him off after that, thank God.
Do you suppose he meant it?
Hardly. He's nothing but a braggart.
All right, I'd best ask him myself.
Feel free to ask, but don't believe half what he says.
And who is this Jake Piper?
He's Tom's best mate. A decent fellow. They call him the Piper because everywhere he goes he's whistling on that pipe of his.
Where can I find him?
Well, most likely in the quarry. He lends a hand there to make ends meet.
Thank you, innkeeper. I'll be going.
Okay, this is getting interesting. Now we have a third person involved. That's the quarry man.
God's blessings. What can I do for you?
I need to ask you something about the poachers.
What? Me? Why me, for Christ's sake?
They say you were mouthing off in the tavern.
We'd all had a few ales. You know what it's like. The tales get taller.
So you didn't go poaching with Thomas?
My God, no. That would never even cross our minds. Thomas is a bit wild, but I have some sense at least.
Some folk had themselves a feast in the woods recently, and the people who passed by told me they heard a piper playing. You weren't by any chance there, were you?
I was. I don't deny it. But nothing disreputable went on there.
Ah. I found deer bones.
So how do you explain that I found bones buried there?
What? What kind of bones?
Deer bones.
As I was saying, there was meat being eaten, so there would be bones left.
And where might you have got a deer from? Game is for the nobles.
Well, someone brought it.
Who did?
I don't know. It wasn't me.
I'm asking you for the last time, who dragged in that deer?
Thomas. It was Thomas. But I had nothing to do with it, I swear.
So all that bragging when he was drunk was more than just hot air?
I don't know where the deer came from. After what happened in the tavern, Tom took me to the forest to this hide there. But I was too worried someone would catch us, and I took off.
You did yourself a favour. Thomas isn't going to get away with this. So about that feast you had the other day.
What about it?
So who was at the feast?
Just the village girls and us.
Who's us?
Us lads.
Was Tom from the Baths there too?
Yes. Yes, he was there.
If you're innocent, lying won't help you.
I don't know what you want from me. Nothing wrong went on in that clearing, and I certainly don't go poaching in the woods.
But you do know something about it and you're keeping it from me. Covering up for a friend, is that it? Very well. Loyalty is a fine thing, but once they discover who did it, then it'll be too late. You'll be right in over your head, with him.
But I haven't done anything.
Then you have nothing to fear if you tell me what happened.
All right. Yes. There was venison being eaten, but I didn't bring it. Thomas brought that there.
So all that bragging when he was drunk was more than just hot air?
I don't know where the deer came from. After what happened in the tavern, Tom took me to the forest to this hide there. But I was too worried someone would catch us, and I took off.
You did yourself a favour. Thomas isn't going to get away with this. I need to ask you something about the poachers.
What? Me? Why me? Goodbye.
Okay, so Thomas was a liar. Tom, you son of a bitch.
I'm here to find out about the poachers gang, and I need to ask a few questions.
Well, ask away. I don't have all day.
Jake saw you at the feast.
Jake Piper reckons you were at that feast.
I wasn't.
So you're calling Jake a liar?
I don't give a toss about Jake or whatever's buzzing around that empty head of his. He probably got so drunk he had visions of me there.
Poacher or not, you'll take the blame.
Look, I can see you're not a poacher. You look like you couldn't hit a barn door.
That's what you think.
Are you trying to tell me you're a marksman? Are you an idiot or just too vain to think straight?
I don't see what you're getting at.
Look, I can tell you're not the poacher, but this constant lying isn't helping your case. In the end, if they don't find anyone, they'll come after you. They'll know it's not really you, but so what? There'll be no one better to blame, and someone has to swing for it.
All right. But promise me you won't drag me into anything.
Speak up and who knows? I might put in a word for you.
All right. The truth is I did drag a deer carcass there, but I didn't do the shooting. I was given it.
That's a likely story.
Honestly, not a word of a lie. I caught the poacher just as he was skinning it.
And who might that be?
I don't know.
If you don't tell me who it was, I've no reason to believe that story of yours.
Fine. He's one of the charcoal men. I've seen him taking the charcoal to the forge. His name is Radan.
There are plenty of charcoal burners around here.
He came from the charcoal piles south of here. If you follow the creek upstream, you can't miss them.
Well, you better pray I find him, because if you've been lying to me, I'll go straight to the castle. Understood?
I'm telling the truth, I swear. I'm sure you'll find him there.
We'll see.
Farewell.
Learn how to ride a horse, idiot! I am honored that you should come to me.
A fellow from Talmberg claims he saw you poaching. What do you have to say about that? Can you hear me? Don't you have anything to say to me about that?
I'm not a poacher.
That's not what I've heard.
But I'm not a poacher, though.
Did your friends tell you the penalty for poaching?
No.
No? Of course not. Because if you knew, you'd never have been foolish enough to get involved.
I'm no poacher.
No, of course not. You're the Pope in disguise.
What?
No, never mind. But just so you know, the local custom is to string poachers up.
I don't want to hang.
No? Then you better make sure they won't hang you.
How?
For a start, by telling me where I can find your merry band of poachers. Because maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but I don't think you're the leader.
No, I'm not.
So, out with it.
They only take me along from time to time.
All right. But you know where I can find them, don't you?
Aye.
And where is that?
The clearing.
They meet in a clearing.
They camp there.
And where is the clearing?
A short walk from here.
Oh, Lord. A short walk where? Do you know how many clearings there are in these woods?
No. Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, my God. Where is the clearing they camp in? How do I get there?
Along the trail. From the huntsman's lodge. Go into the wood by the big broken tree. Eastward.
Very well. I hope I can find it.
God be with you.
God be with you.
I've been hearing some quite wild stories about Hare.
People do prattle on. It happened a long time ago, and I've heard some crazy tales myself.
And what's your version of what happened?
Hare was a stuck-up knob. He came here with nothing to show but his bare arse. But he thought he could have anything he pointed at. All because he was of noble stock.
Whatever became of him?
Oh, you must have heard. He killed one of the armed men that served Sir Henry of Lipa, and they sentenced him to hang. Except he scapered right out of the castle dungeon.
How did he manage that?
Nobody knows, but I'll bet he had help from someone up at the castle.
And what was your wife's role in all this?
He had his eye on her, and she didn't want him. That's all. And it had nothing to do with what happened later.
I heard that he was a sorcerer.
And I've heard there's blooming roses on Rattay Gallows at Christmas. A sorcerer. Bah! Hare was a ruffian, but there was nothing supernatural about it.
That's all I need. Thanks. I found out where those poachers meet.
Well, that's at least one good bit of news. So tell me, where is it?
In fact, not all that far from here. In a glade not far from your lodge.
I see. They chose that place to mock me. I might have known.
But now we can finally nab them, right?
We can. Go to the castle and tell Captain Robard to send some men with you.
Wait, you're not coming?
I have a lot of work to do.
Of course you do.
See you later.
Alright, Captain Robard.
Good day to you.
I've come about the poachers.
I've come about the poachers, sir.
Oh, so you're the one Nicholas was talking about. All right. I'll send some of my men with you. Are you ready to set off?
I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
Hanakin Hare of Zalush, I arrest you in the name of Lord Divish of Talmberg.
The Master Huntsman is not coming?
The Master Huntsman arrests poachers, not murderers. Will you come quietly?
What do you say, man?
Oh, we're fighting. Oh, we're fighting.
Well, now, look what's come crawling out from under some rock. Gotcha! Come here, Billy Liver.
Did I hit my own? No, 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 not my own, not my own. No, 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 no. I didn't mean to hit my own. Fuck.
Well, I never turned willingly to the slaughter.
Take that!
Oh dear, that hurt.
Come here. Come here. You want some too?
Fuck this!
From the back. Really? The game didn't save, did it? Oh my fucking god.
Is someone there?
Good health, you.
I've come about...
Oh.
Yes, sir.
What have we got here? Entertainment. Great.
answer to my prayers just when I wanted to vent my rage on someone.
Yeah?
Here!
Come on, come on, come on.
I'll slay you!
Attack me, fool.
Yeah! Fuck it!
Help me out, buddy. Help me out.
What's the matter? Come on!
Get him. Get him.
You'll get... I'll slaughter you!
Yeah, go get...
Yow! Ah!
Get him. Get him. Fucker. Come on.
Come here, Lily. Yeah.
Come here.
Fucker.
Let's loot him. We got it. Now we go back. All right, let's go back.
I got Hare.
And where is he?
I last saw him lying down in the forest.
Are you saying you killed him?
There was no other way.
There was no other way. I'm just glad I got out in one piece.
Ah, well, I'd rather have had him alive, but what's to be done? But I can't be sure it was really Hare, unless you have some proof. He had an heirloom, a signet ring. That would prove it.
I have it here.
It's his, all right. Hard to believe the legendary Hanneken Hare is gone to his maker. Anyway, I do know how to show my gratitude. Here's your reward, and stop by any time you need to. You'll always find work here.
Thanks.
Alright, Hare hunt complete. Although I failed another quest which I had before.